what people get wrong about the thickness of the Tudors is it's more about the amount of metal of the GMT of the 41 millimeter case, which makes it quite bulky and heavy. But when you put it on the 39, it's just so cute. It looks so. You call it the Pikachu, right? It's just so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the perfect Tudor. Nailed it. Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, special day today. I get to see not only a MoonSwatch, but we came for this, I think the one that everybody wants to see from the Watches and Wonders 2022, and my buddy Richard at RickTam on Instagram. You can see much better pictures than whatever I'm going to take today of the watch. Well, he got it on the first day, and also the MoonSwatch. So maybe before we get into the Black Bay Pro, what was the story with the MoonSwatch? Which one is this? That's the Moon
Mission
one,
to
right?
The Moon.
The Mission to the Moon.
Yeah, it's the Mission to the Moon watch, and a friend of mine picked it up on the day. He was queuing there with a friend of his. He wasn't that interested in watches. He was just there because of the hype to see and to help his friend out. And essentially, it was Causeway Bay, so it was one of the stores in Hong Kong, and they turned around about 9 a.m. and said, "That's it." The police turned up and said, "That's it. They're not doing it anymore." They cancelled it, and he just stuck around with a few other people. A lot of people left. And then eventually they just turned around and half an hour later they turned up and they started saying, okay, well, we're going to have a queue now. And the police started forming a queue and they just started selling them, even though half the people had left. So he was lucky enough to pick one up and then passed it on to me at maybe very little bit over the retail, because he knew I was a big watch guy and he didn't really want it. He was just there. I thought, okay, well, I'll pick one up and see. So I was
super lucky. So that's the actually the bioceramic equivalent to the MoonWatch, huh? The closest one.
They're very interesting word for plastic, bioceramic. It's technically what they said, 3/4 ceramic to plastic or something. The ratio. It ends up just feeling really light and almost toy-like.
It's bizarre how much it looks like the real one.
Yeah.
Very cool. Definitely cool. And it's the same story for the one I reviewed, the mission to Mars. My friend there, he was just there, and at the right time, the police had
moved people on.
Moved everybody away, and he just hung around. And I think they got another shipment not long ago, but still nothing online. So
nothing online.
I'm waiting.
They did drop something maybe 2 weeks ago. A couple. But I don't think it's something that I think you can wait for it. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece, but it's definitely not worth the hype.
I mean, it's fun to have it on the first day, actually.
Yeah.
And if you don't after that, well, you can wait a year because you've lived your whole life without it. It's
exactly.
Like, I can survive. I have an actual Omega in my case.
I mean, that's the thing. People keep saying, oh, it's like Omega, it means people won't want the real thing, but actually it's making me want it more.
Yeah.
Like having that, I've had a couple in the past, and it's made me want to have one again.
It's awesome for young people too. People can't afford too much money, don't want to put too much money in a watch to get the thing.
Definitely aspirational.
And I think before we get to the Tudor Pro, well, this is I don't know if we can show this. We're gonna get censored.
So it's not a, well, I mean, yes, of course, it's a homage, but it's
slim.
not a fake. So it's an Incipio, and it comes from Japan. There was a magazine, I can't remember the name of the magazine in Japan, that made 400 of these for their VIP members. And so, actually, the numbers of this are super low.
Was it long ago?
A long time ago, yeah.
So before all the maybe hype.
Way before the Steinhardt. And I actually did a video on this with Scottish Watches. I did a comparison with the new Steinhardt and this one. So yeah, it came from a Japanese watch magazine. You could only available in Japan.
Very slim.
It's a Swiss movement for sure.
It's much slimmer than what Steinhardt proposes.
A lot slimmer than Steinhardt.
Not to knock the Steinhardt, they're very cool watches.
No, I did.
But actually, I like the way they do the case here. It's a bit better maybe.
Yeah, the reason I like this instead of the Steinhardt, because of the magnifying glass. The Steinhardt with the new one, which is a smaller size, and it has a magnifying glass. I think it's a specific one for Nomo watches. The magnifying glass just wasn't right sizing. It looked really small, whereas this actually had a nice, almost bubble effect to it.
It's very, very light as well. I think you've just sold a bunch of Incipios. People are going to scout them.
You try
it's going to be hard to find them.
There's hardly any on that. I found this really good example. It's missing one of the like the paint on the loom, but there's different variations too. There's another version.
Maybe for friends in Japan, they might be able to track one of these. And now the one that everybody wants to put their hands on, and I was just a few minutes after you at the shop, and I should have gone much earlier. Usually that's what I do during lunchtime, and afternoon of the first day after the announcement or something like that. You went to one of the shops that had a couple of these, and but what is this? And why did you buy it?
So I saw this 2 years ago from another Instagrammer who had mocked it up as a wish that he'd want Tudor to make if they could make the perfect watch for him. And I'd always been a Pelagos fan, and he designed it with a Pelagos shape. I can send you the image and you can put it in. And it was just, that was instantly for me, like, perfect watch. I've always been a fan of the 1655 Rolex, the Steve McQueen, which is why I got the Incipio. And I've actually looked at a couple of models, but it's just been out of my price range.
But you know what's funny? Yesterday I was watching again, you know the video about the Tudor Black Bay GMT. They did a video later on Holding Key talking about the video because it was so popular. And James Stacy said that when he was asked, how would you improve on it? I would put in a 39mm case, but I would put a steel bezel on it. And they did exactly that.
It's like
it was 2 years ago, I think. A year after he did the review. So this has been out for 3 years now. No, 4 years now. It was 2018.
And I'm a big fan of this bigger brother as well. You know what? So essentially, I've been waiting for it for a couple of years. I've always been a fan of the 1655, the Steve McQueen, although I didn't like the fact that it wasn't a true GMT. Yellow is my favorite colors anyway. When I saw this come out, within a second I got in contact with my AD, who I got a couple of Tudors off before over the last couple of years. I was like, this is my watch. I want this watch. This is my watch.
This one comes from there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we're there, right?
Yeah.
I bought it there, but it was in the windows. When it finally came out a bit more available, I went in, and it was not your guy, but it was the same display.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I love that original watch. I had this on a Jubilee I got from Gakota. I think it was Gakota Watch Shops.
You like it on the Jubilee?
I do, and I've just bought the Jubilee for this one that's turning up today.
Oh,
by
brilliant.
DHL.
So it's going to match?
Yes.
You've got one already?
Yes, because it's
with
the 20 mil.
Oh, that's
20 mil
brilliant.
both.
And by the way, so you know, Rick did tell me he found one, and I was 5 minutes later. No, so they had already allocated the other two that they had, but they showed me the root beer. So I didn't go for nothing. I got to see the root beer. Yeah, it's big, and frankly, because I have this, if I didn't have it, maybe I'd get the root beer.
I think I prefer
but it's expensive.
Yeah,
there's some gold in it, and it's even heavier. So, but yeah, the Black Bay Pro, this is where it's at, 39mm. It is the one everybody wanted, and that's good as they could have made it, I think, with putting this 1655 type of steel bezel, and as slim as they could make it look, because the movement is the same, and you can't, I mean, you can slim down the movement, but you're going to have to spend $1 billion more on the development of it.
I think there's 1 millimeter difference between these two, like in thickness. And part of me, I was reading online, someone said that they had a theory that Rolex just won't let them go thinner. So that there is a comparison, because if they went thin with this would be like perfect, right? If it was the same thickness as the Incipio, it would be perfect.
So like keep the look of your Black Bay. I don't know.
Well, that's what. So they've got the Rolex crown on there now. Technically, it's much thicker. The spikes are sharper. It's not the same 58 crown, and what you've got. So it's like, it's different to that.
Yeah, it's a brand new crown, and yet it feels more tooly, more Rolex, and the rest. But you still have the polishing, the little bevel, what we know and love, as people say, from Tudor. But we got to zoom in, and so what was the buying experience then? You got in the shop.
So I rang my AD, and he said that he'd have a look for me. That was within the first minute of it becoming available, and then he sent me an image of it on the rubber. And I didn't even question it. I said, okay, I'm going to get it. I'll find the strap for it later, because I've always been a buy on the strap guy. And I went down straight away and picked it up, and yeah, great buying experience. I can highly recommend it. It was there. It was the only one they had. He said it was the first one they had. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it doesn't really matter to me. It was that they had one for me, and bought it straight away. Yeah, same as you. I looked at the other GMT, the steel and gold, and it was a bit too heavy. I think I prefer the original. They didn't have any chronos still, which is quite interesting. They still didn't have any of the new Panda chronos.
Yeah, I think, but you know, the one I prefer at the moment is the steel and gold.
Yeah.
But the previous one, not with the gold dial, with the black dial.
Oh, yeah.
I love it because I always love black and gold with a bit of red. And not on the bone, I think I would get it with the bracelet. In the end, I've tried so many times to put so many watches on straps. I'm a bracelet guy. I've put the GMT back on the bracelet after trying to love the straps.
Yeah.
And I like them. It's more comfortable. But I like the bracelet. But yeah, I would go for the John Player Special. But I'm waiting to go back to Europe and get a 21% VAT back.
VAT discount, yeah.
That in a way, I want to buy it here to make the AD like me a bit better and remember me. But I'm tired of playing those games. I just want to buy the watch I want at the best price. And did you get a big discount on this one?
No discount. I did try, but no, there were no discounts on
You gotta ask him.
Yeah, you have to ask. You don't get it if you don't ask.
You know, if you're probably a VIP at the shop, and I think I got 5% on the GMT, but
I think on these models now you will,
go.
but not on a brand new one.
And is there something that struck you when you saw it first?
Yes, it absolutely struck me. I was in the office and I got super excited. I got very excited. I got very vocal about it because for me, I love the GMT. I love the McQueen. I love yellow more than I do the orange. The orange is a nice color, so I love that they went with yellow, and it ties back to the North flag. And I had the North flag when it first came out, which is the watch that had the first in-house movement from Tudor in it, and the open case back, which is something that Rolex has never done, I don't think. So I love yellow. I like that the writing was on there. I loved that the hands are white on the outside, not silver, because again, I've been a Pelagos fan. I had the LHD, and it's much more of a matte look to it. So the hands don't have silver outlines; they're all white outlines, exactly like the
Almost
Pelagos.
like they're floating.
Yeah, kind of. And it goes with the loom spots, which again don't have an outline. It's ceramic on the outside.
It's great that they bring something new.
Yeah.
To me, that's the biggest news about the watch is this 3D ceramic loom plots.
And they're really bright as well. Even with the loom in the sun, you go in the dark and it gets very, very bright. Dark shot of it. It's very bright in this room.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, they're really like.
They're thick, and the whole thing glows, not just the
Yeah,
top. So it looks like a solid chunk of loom. Even the
Really
shape
cool.
of the GMT hand is different as well, and I like that they've done that.
It is brilliant.
It's not a long, thin lollipop. It has almost like a tapered edge or tapered point.
Yeah, I think it looks good, and it reaches the end. Unlike
Yeah,
many
it goes
GMTs,
it goes over the outside ring.
Tudor goes the distance. And on the wrist, everybody's asking the question: is it too thick? Is it too thick? How do you find it?
I mean, I have a big wrist. I got maybe 17 and a half at least.
Yeah, it's bigger than mine
And
there.
it feels really comfortable. I've never had a problem with it. It just hasn't felt too thick. The only thing that it might be is if you put it on a NATO, it might be quite top heavy.
Yeah.
But I haven't tried that, so I can't justify
Try the
it.
parachute straps, It's
The elastic ones.
Yeah, the ones I was buying the other day.
I've had it on a green one. You can see it on my Instagram. I've had it on a dark green.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
From Nick Mankey. His elastic NATOs are really good, and it had no problems because it was quite tight to the wrist. But no, I don't feel the thickness. I think because it's in the 58 case, that it definitely works.
I will do a wrist shot in a minute, but you're getting the bracelet, right?
Yes. So
is it available already from the service center? Or?
Yes, I went there literally the next day.
Yeah.
And went straight in and say like, hey, can I please buy the bracelet for this? Which is good because Tudor do that. They'll let you buy the bracelet and keep the original.
Yeah.
Whereas Rolex, they'll make you swap and pay. So if you go and say you've got a Daytona and you want to get a rubber for it, you have to give your Oyster back.
I think you have to go without it and say you've lost it.
Say you
it
lost
was
it,
stolen
yeah.
and it fell off, it broke, I throw it away.
I misplaced it somewhere. I don't
It's
know
the only
where
way
it
to
is.
do it with it's true with Rolex.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I went to them. I ordered it straight away. They said 4 to 6 weeks, and that was 3 weeks ago. So I'm calling every week to find out because I can't wait to have it. I love the straps, and again, like the Pelagos, it has the micro adjustment strap.
Yeah, that's the thing, the T-fit.
T-fit, that's it.
That's gonna be awesome. That's what everybody wanted. It's what's missing from the GMT to truly the travel watch. Because like today, it's crazy hot in Hong Kong, and I've added back a link, and moved there's just one macro adjustment missing.
There's no half link.
They need a half link or one more hole of macro adjustment, or the T-fit, because I mean the wrist changes so quickly here in Hong Kong because it's so humid. You're at the office, it's all floppy, and then you're out and you're stuck. If you go on a hike with it, so I added back a link. Feels much better now than last night, where my wrist expanded during the night. My wrist feels so tight. Do you want to put it on the wrist?
Yeah, sure. So the other thing I was thinking that, because like if you remember Tudor last year, they had periodic releases, and I kind of have a feeling that they're going to update their original GMT, and give it the T-fit, so that it matches this one now.
It'd be very kind of them if they would sell just the clasp, right?
Oh well, yeah.
That would be a great move. And there we go on the wrist. I'm gonna go commando. Actually, it looks so small on you.
I know. I have big wrists.
Not so small, but it doesn't look thick at all. If you have a manly wrist like at Rick Time on Instagram, it feels totally cool. I can understand if a guy has a 15 centimeter wrist, very skinny, that the thickness is going to matter. But for you, it doesn't matter. It's not at all noticeable.
No, it's not. It doesn't pop up. It's.
You wear your watches on your.
I'm a righty. I'm a right-handed person, but I wear my watch on my right wrist.
It's your chance to appeal to Rolex. Rick Time here will do great publicity for your left hand GMT, and he's the man to wear it. Not all those righty guys wearing it on the left hand already, and stealing all the fun from the lefties.
It's why I had the LHD from Tudor, and just because if you do this, there's no crown. So if you wear a right-handed wrist on your right wrist, a left-handed wrist, then you don't get hit by the crown up here.
The LHD is really cool. I'm a big fan of that one too. Tudor is really the Rolex you can wear. I mean, they're just firing on all cylinders, and because who's going to travel with a GMT Master 2 anymore? Whether you pay retail or not, there's so much value into it that, and you're not really going to feel comfortable swimming with them either, or walking in a busy street in London. So that's why this is the actual travel watch, and this is, I think, one step better. Because nobody knows how to use the bezel around. People just set one time zone and that's it. I don't think even pilots would bother. So this is just like the Explorer and the Explorer 2. I love them, and I was thinking last night of adding again a 5 or a 6-digit series to the collection, and just be done with the GMT obsession.
So I had the 21. The 21 6570, is it?
Yeah.
And I've had the 22 6570.
Yeah.
I had the black dial 21 and the white dial 20. That's a really nice watch. The white dial, because the loom plots have got black matte around the outside of them, and the hands are matte. I like matte, but for me that was a really, really stark watch. Very easy to read the dial on. Whereas most Rolexes, actually, I find that they're very shiny, and that, again, you're probably not wearing it to read the time, you're wearing it as a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
They're just too shiny for me. I know that's a really controversial thing to say, but Rolexes for me are way too shiny. It's why I like Tudor more.
Yeah, and the Explorer 2 is the one you can really feel good about taking out, and a bit more quirky, a bit different. So, but was there a big difference between the 2.1 and the 2.2?
Well, the 2.1 I had was a black dial, and it's not a matte dial.
But apart from that, I know that the orange hand was a bit different, but they changed a bit the.
So the end of the hour and the minute hands on the black dial version, instead of having silver near the stem, they're now all black. On the white version, the only difference is that they've now made a lot more of it matte, so the hour markers have matte black around the outside of them. Case size is almost exactly the same. The lugs are technically thinner, that you can't really feel it unless you're looking at it next to the old case size.
Yeah. It was the same bracelet. They didn't.
pretty much the same bracelet, I think.
It's still 20.
Oh no,
Or did it
it's
go 21?
21. It's
Oh,
gone
yeah,
up to
so the
one.
same thing they did on
Yeah.
the Submariners. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a 2-1 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like the orange hand floating a bit, like with the black going a bit further on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, the new one is fully
It's
orange,
fully black.
right?
Oh yes, sorry, fully orange. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, I think that's it. Changes.
And
it.
I kind of like that look, and also the price is reasonable compared to everything else.
Yeah, they've dropped recently. I saw your Instagram post. Haven't all Rolex prices dropped?
Yeah. It's. I mean, nobody wants to buy them anymore. So if you're traveling to Hong Kong, they're everywhere available. You can get a discount on the GMT Master, but nobody wears that anymore.
No.
Everybody wants Tudor, and this is the new hype watch. Show it in front of you, like a elegant crotch shot. Very good. That's more like let's do a bark and jack type of shot.
Oh, we mean more.
And your
okay.
coffee. There you go. There we go.
Stand up and do it for you.
That's his shot. All right. So in conclusion, super happy. I think. Yeah.
Very, very happy.
I would. It looks the bomb.
I can't wait to get it on the steel. It looks completely different in the photos, and I can't wait to get it on a proper
it's
steel
gonna
strap.
Yeah, I can't wait for you, and we'll see it on Instagram. I'm sure as soon as you get it at the Tudor Service Center right here in the center of Hong Kong very soon. So at quick time, Richard, thank you so much. Any parting words?
I hope everyone gets one if they want one.
There you go. Come on, Tudor, get cracking. Bye bye, guys.